Uh-oh, someone is taking a while to load. It's not just us. This usually happens if one player hasn't loaded in, which is probably Krass for the first time of the day, but that's okay. I just hope he's ready to go for this matchup, man.
Yeah, well, like I was saying before, he's got some big shoes to fill here, but I think if anybody could do it, Krass is going to be the one to do that.
Well, guys, getting into this proper, this is the last series of the day for the Kaspersky King of the Hill Arena. This particular series is worth 400 euros. This one best of 5 is worth 400 euros. But there's been 1,000 in the total pot here today, so some players have already walked away with some cash in their pockets. But spawning here in the upper left corner of the map, playing for Team Neurosoft, it's our orange Terran player, Krass.
And in the bottom left-hand corner, as our red Zurich player from Team Liquid, we have TLO.
You know, for the longest time, I've only really been super into the StarCraft competitive scene for about a year and a half. For the longest time, I didn't think TLO meant anything. When I found it meant the little one, I was like, oh, that's cute. He's probably some, tiny little guy. But Dario is, this really big guy with a really cool beard, and it couldn't be further from his name.
No, man, it's totally true. TLO, despite being a small package, he is worth himself in gold. That sounded weird. He is a huge personality, and he comes in a tiny little package. Just because his brother, he started playing StarCraft because him and his brother played. Did you know what his brother's name is?
What's his brother's name?
The Big One. I don't know if you knew that, but it's
I don't know if you're
true.
trolling me or if it's legit.
Dude, it's totally true. The little one's brother is the Big One. They played together, and that's how TLO got into this.
That is pretty cool. That is pretty awesome. My brother and I used to play video games together, but then he got a life and I didn't, so that stopped. I didn't have the big one or the little one to play with.
Well, it's always awesome. Whenever you grow up with an older brother, like in my case, I had an older brother that we were constantly competitive with each other. He's 5 years older than me. He just turned 30. Oh, old.
Ooh.
But I know. But we grew up. We started playing with the Atari because we're older than people.
Yeah.
And and then by the time GoldenEye came out, we were almost. I was almost a teenager. And we were just ripping that game apart. We played StarCraft together for years. It's just awesome to have that influence, just a brother or a sister to play with.
That is so weird that you bring up GoldenEye. Yesterday on stream, we actually had a big discussion of GoldenEye versus Perfect Dark, and I think it ended up being the stream viewers. I didn't agree with this, but apparently slappers with GoldenEye was #1 from childhood.
Really?
Man,
slappers?
I hated slap because you know what? Someone would always pick Odd Job, right? And he'd be impossible to hit. That little tiny. I'm not gonna swear.
I know, that was super annoying. For me and my brother, it was always it was either lasers or rifles and stuff, but we'd always do it on license to kill, so the one-hit kill shots, because we felt it was more realistic than being shot 1,000 times in the chest without dying. And I remember who I used to always play. I had to unlock them. I would play Janus Special Forces, which was the second from the last in the entire list of people.
Man, now you're making me nostalgia, Mr. Talix, but...
This is who I am, man. I live and breathe retro and StarCraft. I have my video game collection beside me. I'm just looking at it, I'm like, there's all my... I have 3 Nintendo 64s in arm's reach right now.
Dude, I've got another sick shout-out I need to do here while we're just waiting for the game to ramp up. Marius Brenset, aka Brenset, on Twitter says, watching TLO's creep sprint makes me want to switch from Terran to Zerg. Man, I know that feeling.
Oh man, I remember what it felt like for me when I first started playing StarCraft. I was Terran, because I played Terran in Brood War, and I was the first time I saw Force Field, I was like, oh my god, Force Field! So I just totally switched to Protoss.
What does I do?
I'm like, this is amazing! But I played it so cheesy in the early game. I would make a whole bunch of sentries. This was before anybody knew how to make things, and I would just make sentries, and I would just force field around the command centers and stuff so they couldn't mine. I was just a troll.
I love, by the way, my phone has not stopped vibrating since this game started, guys. I'm getting so many tweets from you about TLO. I'm sorry that I can't read every single one of them out, but I think we got a lot of TLO fans here, Talix.
I think that's definitely going to be the fan favorite here today. Not Krass isn't worth himself, but worth
again with the awkward phrasing.
Yeah, man. Just, you get so excited, sometimes you stumble over your words. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, but the thing about Krass is I feel he's really underappreciated. Honestly, everyone's probably leaning towards TLO for this series. If TLO takes this, I think it's going to be another 3-2 tight series, because Krass, again, if you guys did not catch him for the WCS qualifiers, this guy has been on fire. He's not winning big tournaments. He's not your next DreamHack champion by any means, but he's got some very solid mechanics.
That being said, your next DreamHack champion, did you think that was going to be Stardust? Krass has a chance.
First blood.
Well, It's unfair for me to say yes, because it kind of looks like being retrospective about it, but we've been cheering for My Insanity since day one. They've been the big, like, friends here at BaseTradeTV for so long, so for me to say no would be incorrect, but you're right. It was unexpected nonetheless.
Yeah, it was still really great to see. All right, guys, let's talk a little bit about what's happening in this game now. We can see that, Krass is moving out here with a whole bunch of Hellions. TLO still on 2 base, hasn't actually taken that 3rd base yet. So that's pretty interesting because he's making a whole bunch of roaches and a lot of lings right now. Almost finished up. Do you think we're just going to try and see him go for some big bust here?
I like that choice, too. And look at this. Even though he couldn't quite snipe those Hellions, both of them getting away with 2 health. Actually, might not get away. This is everything for Karen players to deal with, and this really became popular, especially after WCS Korea showed how strong roach pushers can be, is you don't even need to end the game with this push, but as long as you cause enough damage to cripple your Terran opponent, you will overcome them, no problem. But hang on. TLO saying, you know what, I'm going to try and end the game with this. 20 lings coming up behind this. 12 banelings. This is going to be a 2-base big old-fashioned bust. More bunkers are coming down, but they're not going to finish in time, I fear.
I think it's too little too late. I mean, right now, we did see Krass invested so much in those Hellions. They're not going to be as effective here. Here come the Banelings. They're moving in. A couple of Zerglings here trying to bait the fire. The Banelings coming in here. All the explosions in the world.
Oh, both of the bunkers on the front lines go down. Now the Roach is pushing forward. There's actually so many SCVs surrounding this bunker. It's dangerous as the bunker and the SCVs all go down. Roach is going to choke off the ram train, cut the reinforcements out. Lings flooding in, but man, these 2 Banelings take out even more SCVs. 14 workers killed and rising.
Yeah, this is a huge bit of damage here from TLO. The supply right now 63 to 47. More Lings constantly resupplying. We're probably going to end up seeing this command center lift up, maybe drop them first, but
because TLO dedicated so much to this, guys, make no mistake, TLO does not auto-win this game, but this is something really rough for Krass to bounce back from.
Yeah,
especially with the reinforcements hitting right now. Oh god, he's going to lose these supply depots.
Oh, here come the Zerglings trying to get us around on
the whole position on that ramp. Beautifully done. More
Banelings right in the open, too.
If you want to bust through a ramp, this is how you do it. You make so many Banelings, your opponent can't do anything about it. Lings coming in because they know. Oh, surprise! Cancel!
Suddenly Zerglings in your base, and right now the Mule's trying to do as much as they can here at the natural expansion.
But Krass is still holding on to this. He's not that far behind in workers. This totally sucks for him having lost 22 SCVs, but TLO without a 3rd base, now moving towards layer tech, did not end the game with that attack, but I definitely feel he did a lot of damage.
Yeah, despite the fact that supplies right now are 57 to 55 in favor of Krass, TLO, he could take that 3rd base. You know what? If he wanted to, he could probably take a 4th base and feel pretty comfortable because Krass can't really move out too fast right now. He could do a little bit of poking and harassment, but he still has a large army here to defend against that.
Yeah, and a bit of an awkward positioning there from TLO. Misplaced the hatchery by like 1 grid mark, just had to cancel reposition. Some players will say screw it, but I like that he actually repositioned it. SCVs are acting as medevacs, by the way, pairing up these Hellions, because every unit matters so much more at this point. And I love that he's moving out with the Hellions. If he can catch TLO out of his base for even a second, he might just kill a ton of drones and even up this game. Not even up, but take the lead in this game. But TLO, look at this, staying home, doesn't want to move out in the field, will not get caught with his pants down, is just going to establish this 3rd base.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing how this is going to be working out now. Krass, he's trying to be very, very smart here with these Hellions. He's checking the 3rd base. He's basically looking for any more Baneling all-ins here. Try to see if he can find some stuff, but he is just... Oh, Krass just held that so beautifully, I gotta say. He didn't over freak out. He just did exactly what he needed to do.
It's hard to keep your cool in a situation like that, too. Any Terran player will tell you that.
Alright, a lot of Zerglings here becoming roasty toasty due to these Hellions, but the Hellions gotta be careful. So many roaches here. And going back to that 5th grader school of casting mentality, roasty toasty extended pew pew, guys. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. When I first heard my Australian broadcast friend Zeph say roasty McToasty and Baldy say ling long, or maybe it was the other way around, I don't know which, but I fell in love with those phrases instantly. In my mind, they will always be my Australianisms for StarCraft 2 casting.
Your Australianisms? And that's our Canadianisms making up words.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up, Canada?
Well, actually, speaking of, Zeph, if you guys liked her casting last time, she will be rejoining me tomorrow for Zotac. Just a small little bump while we wait for this game to continue forward. Krass getting the armory up. His infrastructure is finally catching up to his base. But, I mean, Daleks, it feels like that attack really stunted him rather hard.
Yeah, I mean, TLO is, I think, taking a little bit longer to bounce back from this, but Krass is taking even longer than that. He's really got to try to find an area where he can continue to make a great economic decision, take that 3rd base, but he's got to keep TLO back home if that's ever going to happen.
A little bit awkward. He wanted to clear out the Overlords, but he only had Marauders there, not Marines. Meanwhile, Hellions getting behind the mineral lines do not really do that much damage, sadly.
No, it's harder for them to get good angles and everything, as well as when they're getting surrounded by Zerglings.
Yeah.
It becomes even more difficult for them to maneuver. But right now, we do see the TLO. Looks like he's going to be pushing in for a little bit of an attack here. There are some Widow Mines, may be able to pick off a couple of those Zerglings, but I mean Banelings, as there's 16 being morphed in right now.
The scary thing about these Banelings, while they do have speed, there are plenty of Widow Mines. Look at this spread. If the Marauders from Krass eat those Widow or the Baneling hits, it's actually going to hurt. Normally that would be a good thing, but he needs the Marauders to deal with the Roaches.
Yeah, indeed. All right, let's see how this engagement's going to happen. Baneling's trying to go around the north side here, but Krass, too smart. He just pulls himself right back.
And he's soaking the hits with these Roaches. Now the Banelings are free to walk forward. There's no more Widow Mines in position. Baneling's going to bust through this wall instantly. A nice raise from Krass at the last second, but TLO has lost too much at this point. He has to fall back.
Yeah, he's definitely pulling himself back. Krass just did a great decision pulling back into his main. Had a couple of Widow Mines right there at the top of the ramp, but he lost a lot of his supply depots right now. He is maxed out, 137 of 137.
Oh,
that one supply depot.
The city's right there. It's in plain vision. I just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah, man. He just went Bane on this stuff.
Some SCVs just want to watch the world burn.
All right, well, there is a large army here from TLO. He's warping even more Banelings right now, another 7 or 8. He's getting Burrow as well as Ground Carapace level 2, which brings his Roaches right now to 1-1. The Marines are at 0-1, so the upgrade advantage is still in TLO's favor.
Yeah, this small little hit squad of units is clumped up quite nicely, so there's no real easy way to get a surround off for TLO, but I mean, Krass still has these awesome Widow Mines on the field, but he's got to burrow them, getting caught with his pants down for just a second. A huge spread coming out. The Banelings rolling in, but they can't quite connect to anything, Taylor.
Yeah, not a best place for those Widow Mines. They had to burrow. They would have lost all those Roaches, so the Roaches managed to get right here into the third base and do so much damage. The Marauders trying to kill off as many Roaches as possible, but they are all falling, all the SCVs and the Mules right now, unfortunately. Oh, wow, they're getting picked up because Krass...
He's not picking all of them up, though. He picked up most of them, though. Really nice. Guys, I can't even get... This is like a Terran trend. Hero Marine was the first person to do this. I'm pretty sure it's still on the front page of Reddit. The hot pickup that we were referencing earlier today in the broadcast just kind of happened again. 2 medevacs saving so many SCVs.
Yeah, man, we saw Thorzane do that before. Now we're seeing Krass do it. It is an amazing thing for Terrans to be able to survive and keep those SCVs alive because they are able to make you resupply. They're your production right there. And if you lose them all to Banelings or Roaches, then what do? You just try to make a couple of mules, but even a couple of mules can't make up for that many SCVs.
Yeah, it's where it all starts from, man. It's that primordial first cell. But okay, we got the big pusher coming again.
Baneling so close to that Widow
How
Mine.
did it not go off? TLO.
Oh, there it goes.
My God. Some of the really clutchest Widow Mine hits going off right now, and this is exactly what Krass needs. These small little victories are huge for him at this point in the game. TLO, I want to point out though, guys, while this has been going on again on Whirlwind, expanding like a madman, 5 bases on the field at this point, and Krass not even on 3.
Yeah, TLO is playing this so smart. He knows exactly what he needs to do in this game. Keep the Terran occupied by constantly harassing him and take your own expansion.
Oh, those Baneling Mines on Burrow! Krass taking a big hit there. So just while those Widow Mines are doing a great amount of damage, TLO equally tactically intelligent with those burrowed Widow Mines. Or Baneling Mines, I should say.
Krass trying to do a little bit of poking here towards the south side. These Roaches are able to stay alive. Some good burrowing there. These Marines are going to try to move forward. There is nothing here to really defend against it except the Roaches that are now coming up the backside.
This is crazy. Krass is definitely being, like, he's at the end of his ropes, I feel like. He's got to be going crazy right now. Just like, how do I do anything right now?
Those Widow Mines here towards that third base killed off so many Roaches and Zerglings. It looks like Krass might actually be able to hold his attack once again. Krass is not giving up despite the fact that he's really only mining off of one base effectively.
Oh my God, look at TLO's APM, by the way, just spiking at 550 per second there, guys.
Jeez. All right, here we go. The SCV's trying to bring back a couple of those minerals, but Zerglings and Roaches here trying to stop as many of them as possible.
He's
a lot
losing
of those.
a lot.
Yeah, 41 SCVs already, 42 dead this game. It is a number that is growing exponentially. And right now, the supply 142 to TLO, 95 for Krass. The natural expansion nearly mined out. Only a couple of hundred minerals left on that.
You know, Krass is experiencing a problem that a lot of mech players experience, where, you know, you've been banked up, or sorry, turtled in for so long, you're suddenly starving, but instead of having this giant mech army of tanks that he can push out with, Krass is stuck with a very weak, flimsy amount of bio.
Yeah, and for that reason, you know, it's really delaying his upgrades. For instance, he's just about to finish his +3 attack. He can't get his +3 armor right now. But TLO, he's only on 2-1, so TLO has been lacking himself with this constant supply.
Another scan forced to check that Zergling out. Guys, every time he scans, that's essentially 270 minerals at this point in the game. He needs all of them so desperately.
Yeah. And we can see right now even more Banelings morphing in. That third base has landed. So basically, Krass has to defend against this. But if this third base gets denied one more time, I think it's going to be a good game.
Look at that income tab at the bottom, too. How ridiculous is that? TLO is almost, at one point there, quadrupling the income of Krass. But now that all those mules have dropped, we're going to see the Terran skyrocket. And this is one of those times. This is one of those appropriate times where you guys can go, mules are a pretty cool race. Because, I mean, look at this. Goes from 500 to almost 2,500 in a second.
All right, here we go. Another small little attack going down on the south side. A whole bunch of Marines here trying to do some good damage. They do have that 2-3 upgrade. The Zerglings are
so much here.
Banelings, and they do get picked up. A great little play there from Krass. Just do a little hokey pokey with those Marines.
And you churn yourself about. That's what it's all about. You know, the scary thing here, TLO is like I'm gonna, okay, you know, we're making so many references to this game, guys. We're gonna go with the Star Wars one in this one. He's literally, oh, stop saying literally, Rifkin. He is force choking Krass right now, just holding him against the wall, not killing him, but applying so much pressure.
Yeah, indeed. All right, even more pressure going on right now. The Banelings, ooh, get some good hits there. Krass loses quite a lot of his Marines. He actually forces them to land once again, just so he can heal them up. 4 medevacs here for just like 12 Marines.
TLO is still littering, man, I can't speak today now. He's littering Baneling mines all over the field. He's waiting for Krass to accidentally forget to scan just one time. Krass at this point, it's not really possible or plausible, but I'd love if he would invest in a Raven, because he is burning so many scans that he needs to be using on mules.
Yeah, some great play there from Krass, just lowering 1 Marine or trying to pick off those Banelings. There we go. This attack is actually starting to force some units back here. A couple of roaches having to come back to deal with this. You look at that workers killed supply tab right now. Slowly starting to catch up. Those Zerglings not doing as much as they need to. There we go. Some roaches coming in here, so we might actually force them to get picked back up again. Oh, 1 good Baneling hit. And this all gets picked up, but there is a supply right now of roaches and an Ultralisk as well. Going to be trying to hit that third base. There's some Widow Mines and tanks here, so he's not going to be able to push too far forward. But there we go. The bird Banelings.
They're waiting for that. Oh, nice scan.
Good play there from Krass.
But here are the Ultras. They are also almost fully upgraded, guys. 5 armor, 2 weapons. The Roaches even getting their weapons upgraded as well here to level 3 in a moment. TLO, the only person I see actively using Roaches in the late game.
Yeah, this is really great play. Like we were saying, Krass, if we were saying earlier, if anybody can take out TLO and do a great job, it is Krass. Krass doing a great job right now, but this third base is getting really weak. All the Ultralisks do die off, except for one Hero Ultralist that just finally goes down. And it looks like he's just holding it again.
He's still holding on to this. This is amazing, because TLO, he's kind of making these attacks lackluster, let's be honest. They're not the most tactically decisive ones, but it's the fact that Krass is holding every single assault at this point. From minute 1 of the game, that huge bust, till right now, even with the Ultralist, Krass has not faltered. He's not let the pressure get to him. He is, I gotta say, he's still in this, and that's what I love about this. Because eventually TLO is going to get to that point where, okay, Ultras aren't working, Zerglings aren't working, what can I do? And he's going to just fall behind if he's not careful. Yeah, that's definitely a good point. Now, we did see that Krass was pretty successful. Look at the third base. This roach keeps popping out to shoot and then burrowing immediately. Oh, now it gets scanned off. Alright, here we go. Another attack going towards the south side of the base here. Now, there's not much of an army at home for Krass. A lot of Ultralists and Zerglings coming in here trying to do some damage. The Widow Mines being able to pick up a lot of the Zerglings, but there's really not much else here for Krass to defend against this. This is such a clever choice out of TLO. At this point, he's been hammering his focus into that third base. Meanwhile, Krass actually takes out a fourth base while this is, or sorry, the fifth base while this is going on. But does he have enough left at home to defend? Marauders dance behind the mineral lines. Ultralists can't get past that Sim City. But the Zergling can, and now the natural base is shredded, but that's okay. He's got nothing going on at home anyways. As long as he protects his production and can keep this upper base running, this army that is pushing the southern part of the map has no spines to oppose it. One fungal goes down, Queen being transfused, but Talix, this is actually really good for Krass. He's going to take out not just a hatchery, but a macro hatchery as well. Yeah, that's very, very great, but you also have to remember back at the same time, Krass is losing a lot, even at his natural base. For cities. This is really all that Krass has at this point. Oh, great failing hits. I think TLO has done it to supply right now, 140 to 75. Yeah.
I definitely think right now, if Krass doesn't get the best engagement of his life by basically killing everything with so little...
No, that was the window there. Like, if he had sniped out those 2 hatcheries and gotten out alive, I think Krass would still be in this game, but he's got 4 SCVs. I don't care how many orbitals you have. You cannot work off of 4 SCVs, especially if none of your orbitals are mining. He has 0-0 for income. Krass is going to do what he can, but guys, let's not forget, this is only game 1. We got a lot more action coming out of both of these players.
Yep, there we go. The pickup does happen. Krass still looking for a place where he can drop those Marines effectively. He literally moves them just 2 feet and then drops them again because he has to. And here we go. TLO is coming to attack the top northern base. The scan goes down. The SCV's there. And here comes TLO's swarmy army of Ultralists. A couple of rotating bandits.
Yeah, 2 Ultralists still kiting around this army. I don't, you know, Krass, I respect him for trying to pull off a victory still, but at this point, you know, man, it's like... what can you even do, right?
Yeah, at this point, it's just mostly just clinging on to hope. But you guys remember, like Rifkin was saying, this is only game number 1 of a best of 5. There is the GG well played. And TLO takes game number 1 here. Wow. Such great play.
Jeez, man. And, oh my god, Talix, we peaked at 5K viewers! I didn't look at that once during the game! Jesus Christ!
Thank you all for tuning in here today. You're definitely making Rifkin and Mai's day, that's for sure. But not only that, all of you guys.
You guys, like, oh my god, every single one of you tuning in, you are making, like, this isn't just our day, this is like our life right now, because we have just recently gotten partnership with BaseTradeTV. Talix is a guest caster, but he's also my best boss mode friend right now. And, like, we have been having a blast casting for every one of you. My only regret is that the chat is no longer working. It died out, like, 3 games ago, and I'm super pissed that it did. I keep refreshing it, hoping that I'll stumble upon it working once again, but as stated earlier, my promise to all of you today is to never run a commercial longer than 30 seconds. We're just playing with commercials to figure out what works best. But for real, even if you have ad block, just tuning in is more than enough for us. I'm going to take that awkward pause as I toss to commercial. It's going to be 30 seconds. This is going to be commercial number 12, not just of the day, but ever. As again, this is our first broadcast we'll partnered. So thanks again, guys, for tuning in. And before we go to commercial, actually, the next map is going to be Star Station.
Nice.
Holy shit! Oh, the chat's working! Forget the commercial for a second. The chat is freaking working. Welcome back, everybody.
Oh, I gotta refresh my stream now.
Oh my god. Ah, I miss you guys. But okay.